Thank you, Acting Speaker, and I too rise to speak in support of the Education and Training Reform Amendment Bill of 2024. And in doing so, Acting Speaker, with a little bit of indulgence, I'd just like to also convey the thoughts, prayers and sympathies and condolences of the Pascoe Vale community to the Auburn South Primary School community. The devastating events of yesterday are of course an absolute tragedy which my community very much sympathise with, particularly for the young student who couldn't sadly be revived and for those students who remain injured in hospital. Our thoughts and prayers are very much with you all. And Acting Speaker, I'd also like to just also acknowledge and wish all of our VCE students all the very best as they kick off their 2024 exam season as of yesterday through the English exam. Whether students are aspiring to reach university, TAFE, join the workforce, start a business or do something entirely different, maybe have a leap year, break year. In wishing students all the very best, I just remind them that VCE is not everything and that it is not the end. It's just the beginning, in fact, of a lifelong learning journey. And Acting Speaker, it's in that context that I now turn to the substance of the bill. And in doing so, I want to commend the Minister for Education in bringing this bill before the House, but also particularly the Minister for Youth, who's at the table as well, because just like the Minister for Education, she is also absolutely committed to supporting the health, wellbeing and socioeconomic outcomes of all young people in our community. And I thank the Minister for having visited the Oxygen Youth Space previously in my community, which I was the proud founding advocate of many years ago now, and look forward to working with both the Education and Youth Minister respectively to continue progressing those opportunities and outcomes across the North and Northwest, and my parliamentary colleagues, including the member for Green Vale and others. Because it has been Acting Speaker since 2014 that the Victorian Labor government has remained absolutely committed to building the education state, because we've long understood that education is the most important public investment we can make in our future. And this Allan Labor government have set strong foundations for education in Victoria, and this bill builds on those previous reforms and initiatives that we have proudly delivered. And just some of those key reforms to touch on include phonics, updating our teaching and learning model to embed explicit teaching at its core, including the use of systematic and synthetic phonics, the introduction of mental health practitioners, the school's mental health fund, doctors in secondary school programs, the $400 school saving bonus with credits to hit family accounts later on this month, out-of-hours school care, active schools program and so much more. Introducing free kinder for 3 and 4-year-olds, of course, is also a landmark reform that will continue to reap benefits for many years to come. It's also our capital investment, our record capital investment to deliver the education state, with $14.9 billion invested across the state to upgrade virtually almost every school facility and resource across Victoria. And 50% of schools that have been built across the whole of Australia in the past 10 years have been built right here in Victoria by this government. And this, of course, has included record investments for local schools in my community, particularly high schools, which I'll touch on very shortly. And this bill, of course, will build on those investments and those record reforms. The bill is required to provide the Victorian Registration and Qualifications Authority with sufficient powers to counter the increase of unregistered schools, which may not be providing high-quality education in a safe environment, and unnecessary administrative burdens caused by redundant and inefficient processes. And the bill does make a number of changes and amendments to strengthening VRQA's compliance and enforcement powers to address gaps and inconsistencies in their powers, and of course to reduce those unnecessary burdens. And there's quite a number of reforms contained, minor in substance, but quite important in terms of the context of improving the capacity of VRQA's work. And I'll refer to other members' contributions for the detail on those reforms. But fundamentally, as I said, this bill will help us continue delivering a better, fairer and more inclusive education system for local principals, teachers, students and families alike. And it's in this context, Acting Speaker, that I turn to the release of my community's first ever dedicated education plan. Secondary schools in Merri-bek North are now joining forces to maximise student outcomes, engagement and inclusion, thanks to our Labor government. The Minister for Education and the Deputy Premier on Thursday the 24th of October, just last week, launched the Merri-bek North Education Plan after a thorough consultation and partnership building process to identify community needs, the unique challenges and strengths of our school communities. The schools involved in the plan include Coburg High School, Glenroy Secondary College, John Falconer Secondary College and Pascoe Girls Secondary College. The top priorities identified in the Marybeck North Education Plan are excellence in teaching and learning, because we know supporting our teachers from the outset will be crucial to supporting those outcomes for young people. A greater focus on student wellbeing and inclusive behaviour and positive behaviours, as well as providing for a diverse and high-quality range of subject offerings and learning opportunities for all students, regardless of which Marybeck North High School they attend. The consultation and engagement also found that students in the area need individualised support and pathways, which is exactly what the Marybeck North Education Plan will deliver on. The plan will transform education in the area over the next 10 years, creating more opportunities for students and build stronger connections between schools and our local community. And schools involved will be able to share resources and expertise, giving students more opportunities to take classes and participate in activities that may not be available to them previously. And the plan will allow our local secondary schools to leverage their shared vision to establish strong partnerships with tertiary education providers, as well as promoting vocational pathways in local growth industries such as advanced manufacturing, science, healthcare and education. We will also continue to assess the buildings at each of these local high schools to ensure they continue to be up to date, maximising learning opportunities for all students. And this will be supported, which the Minister was I was very happy to see the Minister commit to and announce a $50,000 update towards the new Glenroy Master Plan, a development of a new Master Plan for Glenroy Secondary College, which will ensure the buildings at that school will also continue to meet the needs of the community. And these initiatives through the plan will build on that record investment I was referring to earlier that we've delivered since 2014 to upgrade all of our local high schools, including the $14.5 million towards the John Falconer Secondary College for a new science and visual arts building and a new food technology building, $17.8 million towards Coburg High School to deliver a new two-storey technology building, creating space for 250 additional students. We've just recently appointed the builders, and works are now well and truly underway at the school. $11.9 million towards Pascoe Girls Secondary College to build a new arts and technology centre, which has been in operation since the start of Term 4 and which we're officially opening later on this year. And I'd love to have yourself, Acting Speaker and Member for Greenvale, in attendance at that with the Minister, hopefully. $9.2 million budget towards, of course, Glenroy Secondary College for their new senior and junior school learning resource centre, admin centre and staff hub, which of course is now well and truly opened. And our government recognises the unique strengths and characteristics of each of these local high schools across Marybeck North, and this plan ensures this community, our community, proudly will have our localised vision for excellence and wellbeing in education for the first time over the next decade to come. And by investing and supporting our local teachers and offering that broad and engaging, diverse learning environment through the plan and improving infrastructure, we'll be able to deliver on each of those outcomes over the next 10 years. I particularly want to thank as well all of those who were involved in being consulted, in putting the plan together. The plan apparently had the highest level of feedback of any education plan by the Department of Education they've conducted across the state, so quite comprehensive consultation and feedback has been incorporated. All of the school communities and parents and families and students and stakeholders who participated, I say thank you. And also to our local principals, Brett Houghton from Coburg High, Kay Peddle from Pascoe Girls, Dr Lisa Vinicombe from John Falconer College, and Andrew Shelf, the Deputy Principal, who's a Coburg North resident, and Andrew Arney, the Principal, of course, at Glenroy. And as I said, underpinning all of this will be the school staff, including the teachers, and implementation of this plan will occur in stages so that schools are not overwhelmed. Staff will have those opportunities to deepen their skills and benefit from the training and personal development as the plan is rolled out over coming years. But I'm pleased to say quite a few of those initiatives, Acting Speaker, are already well and truly underway, and we look forward to confirming those and announcing those over coming months as they get finalised and as they roll out. And with the time I have as well in the spirit of this bill, I'd like to also just congratulate the Pascoe South Primary School community on having celebrated their 70th birthday last week. It was a pleasure to attend and cut the cake to celebrate highlighting Victorian Labor government's record $5 million plus investment towards upgrading the school's facilities since 2014, the biggest level of investment the school has ever received in its 70-year history, with new classrooms, learning and indoor spaces and a new school indoor multi-purpose space. It was also a pleasure to highlight my ongoing support for the school's continued advocacy around the need for a new covered outdoor learning area, a COLA, with the school having collected a 1,400 signature petition that I've sponsored and look forward to tabling here in Parliament, I believe potentially tomorrow, and the ongoing ongoing advocacy for a new 40-kilometre school speed zone on Coonans Road and the introduction of a school crossing supervisor, which I also encourage Council to support. Commendations to Carmel Land, Cuba and the school community.